Welcome back to the Strong Mind, Strong Body podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Summers, and this week I want to talk about perfection is the enemy of good. Hear me on this one. Perfection is the enemy of good. And this is really going to be focused around nutrition. And it just seems like no matter what you do or what social influencer you follow, and it just seems like everything is so inundated these days with things that we are not supposed to eat, things that we are not supposed to consume. All this stuff is bad for you. This has microplastics in this. This has this red dye or whatever other bullshit's in it. I mean, there is so much noise out there that is telling us what not to consume because hell, half of these is just telling us that it's pretty much just going to cause cancer. We're all going to wind up dead from it. I mean, it's just, wow, so exhausting. I mean, one thing that I have not noticed is nobody's came up with a plan on what to eat other than follow my 8-week plan because I have the answers. It's like, Jesus, people. It's frustrating. And as somebody who was well over 300 pounds that has lost my weight and has kept it off, I still enjoy a pizza. I still eat my food prep out of some bullshit Target plastic container. I still drink water out of a plastic container. We're all gonna die sometime, and I get it. Yeah, there's the argument, oh, we can, optimize this. It's like, dude, 90% of the people out there, you can't even optimize your sleep schedule. You can't, and optimizing your sleep schedule is literally as easy as I'm going to go to bed at this time and I'm going to wake up at this time. It's not room a certain, 68 degrees, no blue light. No. Going to bed at one time, waking up at the other. But we're told we're supposed to optimize all this other stuff. It's like, Jesus, you can tell it's hitting a nerve, right? Because it's so frustrating as somebody that has lost, over 120 pounds and have kept it off for 15 plus years, that it's so simple, not easy, so simple, but it's so overly complicated these days. I mean, it's that feeling of trying to eat healthy and it feels like everything is bad for you. Coffee causes cancer. Meat's gonna kill you. Seed oils are the devil. And don't even think about sugar, right? I mean, you might as well be injecting poison at that point. Take a breath with me, okay? This all sounds familiar. Yeah, I know. No wonder why most of the people give up before they even start. I mean, it's so crazy. And you're going to tell me the sugar's the devil and you're not supposed to consume this because it's linked to all this other stuff, but yet my daughter loves to bake cookies and she loves to share that with me. What's wrong with that? Right? I mean, you can get into the excess and all this other stuff, but it's just like, and here's the thing, okay? For most of y'all out there, when you're told not to eat something and not to do something and you're following these things, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you get in this fear, but at the end of the day, in 3 or 4 days or a week, you still binge eat the sleeve of Oreos. You still go out with your girlfriends and consume a shit ton of wine. And I'm not condemning that. We get so narrow-minded and narrow-focused on what we can and can't do when it's the small things that make the biggest improvement. You see, I want to talk about how perfectionism is in nutrition is setting you up to fail. Why small, consistent habits are way more powerful than a perfect diet. And I am living proof of that. Okay, you're gonna find the gurus, you can search it, you can do all this, and they're gonna tell you exactly how to live the perfect life. And I tell you what, I would love to meet these people and have a conversation one-on-one, because there is no perfect life. Because life throws curveballs. There's times when you're not going to be able to meal prep. There's going to be times where you're forced into a company meeting. There's going to be times where life just happens. And there's going to be days where it's like the day got away from me and I didn't even eat today. And there's going to be days where you're just like, fuck it. I'm going to burn it down and I'm going to go smash the nearest Wendy's or Jack in the Box or whatever it is. I'm going to get all the fried foods, all this. Then I'm going to go by the local Dairy Queen. I'm going to go get this carrot cake or whatever it is. And you're going to eat all that in one day. And guess what? That's okay. That means you're normal. That means you're just going through life and trying to handle it. You just get back on the horse the very next day, right? Now, why are we overthinking nutrition? I mean, I touched on it, it's just we're thrown all this information. It's like, I'm a nutritionist. You open up my algorithm on Instagram and it's a lot of food, it's a lot of bikes, it's a lot of cars, it's a lot of, bodybuilding. That's my ecosystem, right? That's what I'm looking at. But I tell you what, even for me, I'll sit there and just like, you're scrolling through and you're just like, oh, wow. Pretty much everything I scrolled through and just went brain dead with the past 25 minutes. I don't think there's anything I could eat except for this person's diet. But then I get into another one and it's like, oh, but they have a better one. Oh, they have a better one. It's like, bro, I get it. I absolutely understand why it's so damn hard to do all this, because you don't know where to start and you have all this information at your fingertips that's telling you what to do and what not to do, and everybody has the answers. And I'm definitely not sitting here saying I have the answers, but I tell you what, I do know what works, and I know what works for me. And if you follow small, actionable steps day in and day out, you too can have a healthy lifestyle and achieve the goals you want. You see, every single week there's a new study demonizing a food, right? Social media nutrition experts pushing extremes, carnivore versus vegan, low carb, high carb, seed oils versus tallow. I mean, dude, the fear-mongering headlines like bacon causes cancer or coffee increases heart disease. I mean, there's so much, right? Many studies use high doses in controlled environments. Not realistic human consumption levels either are in these. Most studies are done on animals. Humans metabolize everything so different. Our metabolism is built so different than an animal. Okay. In 2015, a study linked processed meat to cancer, but the increased risk was at levels that would require eating processed meat every single day for years, and pounds and pounds and pounds of it every single day for years. But yet we're told not to eat it because it's going to be bad on your sandwich with a little bit of mayo and mustard, because that's all you had time for, or hell, that's all you could afford to do. But don't eat it, it's bad. I don't know, that seems a hell of a lot better than rolling through the McDonald's drive-thru. Think about it, right? See, paralysis is by analysis, right? We're just like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. And for me, okay, I'm going to speak about me, okay, is when I lost all my weight, my biggest fear was becoming 300 pounds again. So everything I ate, man, I was so like, oh, I can't have this. I can't have that. I have to eat this and I have to do this. And you know what it led to? Every single weekend, binge eating. Every single weekend. Because I put such a, I put such a polarizing thought process on good versus bad, I can't have and I can't have, that it would get to a point where I would just think about what I couldn't have so much. I was like, I have to have that. And I don't care who you are, what you do. If you struggle with your weight, food is a drug. And it's such a drug in a sense of when you start saying you can't have something, dude, you crave it. I don't care what it is. It could be the dumbest, most bullshit thing ever. And you just crave it with every feeling in your being. You see, it's like if you're addicted to drugs, there are programs out there that you can help, that'll help you along the way, that'll help you on your path, that'll help you get recovery and walk you through the steps. If you're struggling with your weight, your doctor tells you, hey, you got to lose some weight, and you go home and you open up your pantry and there's all the shit again. Now you got to throw it all away. Then you open up your refrigerator and there's all the bullshit you eat all the time. But guess what? Who's going to the grocery store? Who's fighting the demons at 9:30 at night? Who's sitting there after you've been just had a shit day at work and you're just like, man, I've had it. I want to have this. And you're like, I can't have this and I can't have that. And believe it or not, at 11:17 at night rolls around and you raid the pantry because you went out and bought it again. Or if you're like I was, you'll drive your happy ass and go get it. It's that much of a drug. And when we start telling ourselves we cannot have it because it's bad or it's this or it's that, that's all you hyper think about. And I get it. I can see the comments now. No, you don't get it. You know, I don't have to consume this. I don't have to consume that. Yeah, well, I'd love to see your glass house and really see how healthy you are day in and day out just because you're locked in on your nutrition. Let's talk about how often are you going out with the girlfriends, the guys, right? How much movement are you getting in? How much Call of Duty are you playing? How much TV are you watching? How much time are you spending with your family? Let's really talk about health, because so many people message me daily about what do you think of this? This morning, I was talking to somebody. She needs help with her nutrition. I'm like, listen, you need help. You don't know where to start. The best thing you can do, start tracking your calories. You don't know what you don't know. Do you need to do it? I don't want to do it. I don't care. You need to do it because you need to know what you're consuming, right? And first thing this morning sends me, oh my God, look at the cholesterol that it's saying my cholesterol's high. It doesn't even have your blood panel, but she was so hyper focused on what she was eating that her cholesterol was high. But yet she just started putting it in an app that doesn't know dick about her. And all of a sudden she's super concerned about her cholesterol, but yet she didn't put everything in there. She's not tracking the food because automatically she went into a fight or flight. Oh my God, I can't do this. You can't do what? You are learning. Clearly that's important to you. So let's work on that. That's okay. But let's continue down the road here. You're literally 13 seconds into doing something and your brain, because of all the shit you're consuming, has already been like, oh, whoa. I'm out. This is bad. Well, what are you going to do to fix it? What are you going to do to learn about everything else? Or is it the fact that you learned that a number from an app that knows nothing about you said was incorrect? Unfortunately, she's not a one-off case. She's like most of the people out there, right? What actually matters is consistency over perfection, because being consistent in anything is what's going to move it further down the road, right? There's something I like to do when I'm working with nutrition clients is they see that day and their calories got blown out of the water. Next day they might be low, but what's our 7-day average? What's our 2-week average, right? Let's take your calories, how many you're supposed to eat per day, times it by 7, times it by 14. And guess what? If we come in damn close to that number, that day we went over, it's all right. We'll let it slide. That day we went under, it's probably a hard day, huh? Let's talk about it. That day we went over, okay, let's talk about that too. What happened? But that's life. That is absolutely normal. You see, you have to focus on the big picture, because the habits in the big picture, instead of chasing the macros or the ingredients day in and day out, which is great, right? It's like, I got to have this today. When it's like, well, okay, understand that it says you're supposed to have this particular food today, but what did you eat on top of everything else, right? Did you drink enough water, right? Did you get your 8, 10, 12 glasses of water in for the day? Or were you so hyper focused on whatever that one thing was that you didn't look at the big picture, right? And we've got to, this is gonna create a shitstorm, but we've got to ditch the extremes. You don't need keto, you don't need paleo or vegan or any, if your nutrition has a label, you really don't need it. Okay, hear me on this. I talk to, and if you are on one of those and it is working, hey, high five, that's amazing, badass, good on you. You need to write a book on how to be perfect on that, because I would love to read it. And so would millions upon millions of other people. But you know how many people I talk to weekly that tell me, keto worked for me. Paleo worked for me. Vegan worked for me. If it worked for you, why do you need me? Well, I didn't stick to it. Why? Well, it's just, I went on vacation. Well, if your program does not allow you to use that program on vacation, did it work for you? Well, why was keto or paleo working for you? I lost so much weight. Awesome. So why are you here? Well, I fell off it. Well, why wasn't it sustainable? Life and work and the holidays. Well, if you weren't able to, so did you quit your job? No. You're not going to celebrate any more holidays. None. Nope, I am out. I am not doing any more holidays. I'm not celebrating them. I am sticking to this diet because it is more important than Christmas to my kids, more important than getting together with family for the things. No, dude, you're crazy, man. No, we're going to keep the holidays in there. Okay. So, I'm confused on how that diet worked for you, because if it didn't work around the holidays, and it doesn't work when life got crazy, and it doesn't work just when a speed bump gets thrown at you, did it work? Or did said diet work to the point of you were eating a bunch of shit before or a bunch of processed stuff before, and you cut it out and you cleaned everything up and you lost 10 pounds of water weight in the beginning, then you started leading out because you got a little bit more active, started going to the gym, and you cut out a bunch of processed shit and you lost some weight, but then you gained it back. Was it just the fact that you cleaned up your nutrition, or was it that particular diet? And after a lot of questions and after deep diving it a lot, they usually say, oh yeah, it's because of that. Have you ever tried any other diet or nutrition plan? Oh, I've tried this before. How'd it work? Oh, it worked for a few pounds. And they all worked, but they never worked long-term or sustainable because it was too restrictive, right? It's these extremes. You see, flexibility makes it easier to sustain progress long-term. So how do we stop overthinking and build sustainable habits? Well, you know where I'm going on this one, right? Protein, right? We're gonna start adding more protein to breakfast, right? We're gonna swap one processed carb for a whole grain, right? Add one serving of vegetables to lunch. I did not reinvent the wheel, right? So we're gonna add more protein for breakfast. Okay, check, seems pretty simple, right? We're gonna swap one processed carb for a whole grain. All right, I guess I don't need a sandwich for lunch, and I could just get one of those little minute rice things at the grocery store, right? I guess I could do that. It seems pretty simple. One serving of vegetables for lunch. Okay, yeah, that's all right. But where's the hack? How's this gonna work? No, that's it, homie. Like, it is literally that simple. You notice what word I am not using? Easy. It is not easy. It is simple to make these changes, but it is not easy. It is easy rolling through McDonald's. It is easy not giving a shit about breakfast and saying, I just don't eat breakfast. Amazing. Do you want a badge of honor? Or it's kind of like the people that say they don't eat breakfast, or Jesus, intermittent fasting. I feel like people that don't eat breakfast and talk about intermittent fasting are the same people about CrossFit. You walk into a room, have no idea what anybody is, and like, I do CrossFit. It's like, whoa, dude, like, out of my face for a minute. Who are you? What are you? Like, what's going on? Same people are saying, I do intermittent fasting. It's just like, or I skip breakfast. It's like, hey, that's cool, but why are you announcing it, right? It's kind of like those people that always on social media are talking about how good their relationship is, or their relationship is with their significant other, and it's like, if it's so good, why do you got to talk about it all the time, right? And you're like, yeah, got it. It's that good. You got to announce it to the world. Got it. Sorry, I digress. But it's, where I'm going, and I get it. Okay, intermittent fasting, if it works for you, okay, you really want to break that sucker down. I hate to burst your bubble on that one, okay? But it's like, breakfast, what is it? Break the fast. I'm sorry, you intermittent fast, so does every other human being that goes to sleep after dinner and wakes up the next day. Breakfast literally means break the fast. Boom. Mind blown. I get it. Some people say it works, say it doesn't, and again, it goes down to, yeah, it works. So what happens when your wife wakes up and says, I'd love to go to breakfast with you tomorrow morning? Nope, no. I am an intermittent faster. You can tell where I'm going with this, right? I know I'm hitting it hard, but I feel it needs to be said because it's just so much is thrown at us that it just gets so confusing and we're overcomplicating it. we got to keep it simple. Instead of counting every macro, aim for balanced meals, right? You're like, I can't do the tracking thing. It's like, well, I think you should. You don't have to do it forever. I do it probably 2 to 3 times a year, just to be like, let me just kind of call me out on my own bullshit for a second, right? Because I've been doing this for 15 years, right? I can literally look at a food and tell you, and I am damn good at it, and tell you how many calories are in that sucker, right? You can tell me what's on the grill, and I'm on it. But I'm like you, I got to call me out on my bullshit too. And I'll be like, yeah, I probably wasn't eating as good as I thought I was. And lo and behold, a little intuition, I was right. But if your flag is planted and I'm not tracking, I don't got time for that. All right. So instead of counting every single macro, just aim for balanced meals. Protein, carb, fat, vegetables, right? Protein's going to be the size of your palm, right? Without your fingers, right? That's the size, thickness of protein. Carbs is going to be the size of your fist. That's a serving. Okay. Fat is going to be the size of your thumbnail. That is a serving. And veggies, again, size of your fist. Protein, right there. Protein, carbs, fat, veggies. Pretty simple. Those of you on audio, I was doing a video for YouTube on that, so you got the gist of it. Follow the good enough rule. If you're hitting your general nutrition targets 80% of the time, you're on track. And I saw this thing the other day. What was it? It was like what was it? Was it consistency looks like this? Monday, 100%, right? So Monday, we're usually loaded up after the weekends, all inspired, open up motivational app or whatever it is, just like fires you up, hoorah, right? Tuesday comes around, 80%, right? Then Wednesday rolls around, you're like, 40%. That's about all I got today. Thursday, you're like, bro, if I give 10% today, that's a win. Friday rolls around, maybe 45% because we're a little bit more, motivated for the weekend. But what it is and what it's meaning is on Monday when you give 100%, that's because you felt 100%. Some days when you're feeling like, man, all I can give today is literally 40%. Well, if you give all 40% of what you feel like, that's 100%. If you give all 10% of what you feel like because you just got so much stress and so much going on, and you give it that 10%, that thought process, that's a win. That's huge. You can't label foods as good or bad. Aim for a balanced plate most of the time, right? But leave room for life. Leave room for, yesterday we went out to lunch and I have my typical salad and I had a cookie with it. There was room in my balanced chicken salad, don't be calling me out, for that cookie. Did I have 12? No. Did I want 12? Maybe. It's a pretty good cookie. But I had one cookie, right? That slice of pizza or beer with friends or that wine with the girlfriends won't derail you if your foundation is solid. Now, I know I talked about wine and all that other stuff, but we demonize one thing and we overlook the other things, right? And I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like, hold up. Let's analyze this for a second, okay? Plan ahead, but you got to stay flexible. Prepping meals helps eliminate decision fatigue. If you slip up, don't stress. Just get back to baseline and get back on the horse your very next meal. It's as simple as that. Then you have to have this mindset shift. Stop trying to be perfect. The goal is never perfection, because perfection, again, is the enemy of good, because we're seeking the best. I want perfect this or perfect that. And what happens is we don't even start, and we're not even good at a lot of things to even try to achieve this perfection, but yet we're always searching for it, but yet we're not doing anything good. Progress compounds. Small improvements daily lead to huge results over time. If you literally smash a sleeve of Oreos every single night and you switch it up to a half a sleeve of Oreos every single night, that's a win. And over time, I don't know why I'm talking about Oreos. Maybe it's on the mind, right? But over time, you start getting less and less and less and less. If you're having 3 sodas with dinner, I drank 2 liters of Mountain Dew a day for years. And I switched those 2 liters out for 2 liters of diet, then slowly brought it down. Go ahead. Tell me I shouldn't have drank that. I'll wait. Okay? Because guess what? It helped me lose 130 pounds. It helped me get in the best shape of my life today. It helped me not demonize food. It helped me become who I am today because I made a small improvement. So please tell me that I should not have drank diet soda. I did. And it helped me get through everything. Small improvements over time. Good enough consistently will beat perfection occasionally. Hear me. Good enough consistently will beat perfection occasionally. Every single time. So friends, how do we wrap this up? Right? Stop chasing perfection. We've got to put that on the back burner. And we have to aim to get that consistency and start being good at what you're doing. Perfection is the enemy of good. Focus on protein, whole grains, fats, and fiber. Keep it simple. Let go of the guilt. A single off meal doesn't matter if your pattern and your consistency is solid. But you cannot let one meal turn into two meals turn into a day, and a day turn into a weekend, and a weekend turn into a week. And before too long, you're going to be like, my New Year's resolution is going to be this. How many New Year's resolutions are there that's going to be, I'm going to lose weight? And they're done within the first 2-3 weeks. And I'm so sick and tired of people waiting till Monday to start. It's like, no, start today to get healthier. You can make a small adjustment and start making those adjustments today. You can go grocery shopping today, and that's a step in the right direction. You don't have to go through your pantry and throw out all the bullshit. I'll tell you what, growing up poor, the worst thing for me to do is to literally go through my pantry and throw away food because I didn't have it when I was a kid. That's also something we're not talking about. But if you can make small improvements every single day, you will be so much further along and down the road than you have ever been on any fad or any influencers' recommendations or any of that. You just have to make these small adjustments, and it will compound day after day after day after day. And believe it or not, you will find what works for you. I don't have the answer for the perfect diet. If I did, I would have that sumbitch hard copied. It'd be at the bookstore, #1 bestseller, because it would work for everybody, and I'd own a goddamn island. Don't got no island. Sure as hell don't have that book. Friends, there is no perfect diet. There is no perfect nutrition plan. There is no perfect food. There isn't. And staying away from everything sure as hell is not going to get you any closer to your goals. But I'll tell you this. Make those small improvements. If you're craving soda, swap out to diet. If you're craving sugar, look for a sugar-free option. Is it the best? No. But is it good enough? You bet your ass it is. Those small tweaks will pay dividends. And I promise you, as somebody who was so lost when I was overweight, I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to start. And guess what? I just started. I knew that I'm like, I probably shouldn't be eating cereal. So I'm going to eat eggs and toast. That seems like a healthier alternative than cereal, right? I probably shouldn't be rolling through McDonald's and getting 3 cheeseburgers. I guess I could make a chicken breast and some rice and some veggies for lunch. It seems pretty simple. Have a couple snacks in between. I guess instead of pounding a Snickers bar, I guess having some nuts, right? Some almonds or something. I guess that's healthier. You know the answers. You know damn well what you should be doing. The problem is we're looking for these other people or looking at these other people's to justify our excuses for being in the bullshit shape we are. You know it. You know damn well you're just looking for people to justify your excuses for not being in the best shape of your life. And I'm not going to let you get away with it, but I am going to help you get there, because the small improvements will make the biggest impact in your life. So if you're stuck in analysis through paralysis, just start small. Hit your protein today, add a vegetable to lunch, keep it simple. That's how you win the long game. Friends, if you found value in this, if you feel that somebody could benefit from this, if you feel somebody needs to hear this, and maybe it's a coworker, family, friends, because God knows having that conversation with family is almost impossible, right? Share this with them. Like, comment, share on this. It's how we grow. Watching us on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. Help us grow on that platform. Now remember, perfection is the enemy of good. So stop chasing it and just start making better choices today. We'll talk to you next time.